If you clicked on this video, congratulations! I want to briefly talk about this. I don't even really care about it. I just keep seeing it adjacently in my timeline. And I know I'm like super late, right? I just want to say that Taylor Swift, top tier grifter, okay? Mamas is really keeping up with this narrative that she likes this man. Travis Kelce, I think that's the one, because the other one is Jason. I don't know. I don't care. But they got married, right? And I just find it crazy that the fans literally flew out. Imagine you paying a ticket, a plane ticket plus airs and fees, getting carry-on luggage and a bag, getting a hotel and an Uber to drive to the Madison Square Garden to sit outside, not even in the lobby, outside where the like air, trash, you smell the piss in the corner, and my man's in the hobos in the other corner talking about like a new world theory while trying to eat like a hot dog bun. And you're standing out there for the wedding. Yeah? I just know it is a well-crafted plan. And y'all are just really Skittles for brains for filming yourself and then putting it on the internet about eating scraps of the food from the reception. You're not okay. Somebody starved. They refused to actually get real food to get the scraps of that food. I have evidence, Your Honor, I think, if I find it. This is the one that you definitely keep in the journal diaries. This is not something that you promote on TikTok. And I just want to see how long the grift is going to keep going. I know it's going to come with an album release. It's going to come with the merch, right? It's going to just keep coming with the rah-rah. And y'all fall for it every time, you know? You can't even show up to your kid's event, like, on time and prepped and prepared, but you did it for this one. Girl, she don't even know who you are. You couldn't even put your name in the book. Stop. Welcome back to the YouTube channel, guys. Thank you guys so much for coming back. So I think everybody's still trying to be an entrepreneur. I'm not really sure. You know, it's hard out here. Gas is $1 jillion. Eggs are still $1 bajillion. Can't even get bread. I know that the girlies, some of them went back to the 9-to-5s, right? And isn't that crazy? Because you made a whole series about shaming people for having a regular job. And now that person is your supervisor. Got to clock out and have a 30-minute lunch break. Humbling. But I want to talk about one specific guy that I've been seeing on Instagram. His name is Vinny Watson, aka Vinny V12, I think it's called. I've been seeing him for a while. And his behavior, his essence, his aura, really disturbing for my spirit. The first video that I saw was him degrading his subordinates. He runs a not a strip club. He runs a club and it's like entertainment. But it's like on top of a gas station, like in Atlanta. Of course it's in Atlanta. Next to a Tim Hortons on the highway, right? But the essence and the aura of how he runs this restaurant, you would have thought that he was like in a high sky rise in Miami. Now, the way that he runs this business, he runs a pretty strict program. He is a terrorizer in the workplace. I've really got to say, he gathers all the women who are his subordinates into a circle, and it's like a humiliation ritual where he assesses their outfit, you know, up, down, top tier, top, bottom in front of everybody, will call you out and essentially plays them. If you have like a wrinkle on your shirt, it's, you know, very microaggressive. And then they do a call out. It's called AOA, which is like a confirmation. That's the way that they communicate about the fact that, you know, Hennessy chicken is going to be $22 today. We ain't got no lamb chops. The hookah, only 3 flavors, stuff like that. And I just find it very interesting that the illusion of how he has painted the restaurant and the behavior of the way which he acts does not deliver to the environment in the place of service. And I understand being a business entrepreneur, it comes with a lot of pressure. There's a lot that you have to have. You have to run a very well thought, well-oiled machine of everybody being together on one accord. And there's nothing wrong with having a place of professionalism, having a place where you want everything to be in tip-top shape. But there's a difference between being professional and then like quite literally just being a harasser, right? Literally degrading people and putting it online, right, as rage bait. And that's the way that you promote your business. That's the way people will know who you are and being relevant versus like, I don't know, doing regular content and just promoting the club as is. and letting the girls speak for themselves and promote the club, for themselves, because you can do that versus I don't know. He dresses very well, right? He has a very good presentation. I want to get into the menu, and I want to get into the place, because I'm just trying to figure out, the attitude matching with the prices of this menu. Is it worth the turmoil working there? The girls look like they get paid well, I don't know if that's for scare tactic. Do they actually get paid well? Maybe you evade taxes on top of that. But let's get on into it, shall we? So looking at it, it's a really nice website. It's the Taste of V12. Explore our collection of chef-inspired dishes, handcrafted cocktails, premium cocktails, and weekly features. And then looking at the menu, this is where questions arise, right? First thing off the bat, you have Blackberry Bugatti. Okay? Smoked Hennessy. And I just feel like, again, Hennessy, it's sewage socks that you guys are literally, quite literally running up the tag for in the club. You can get a bottle of Hennessy, I think retail price for at least $60, $70, and just imagine paying $200 to $300 for a bottle. Insane. But Blackberry Bugatti is smoked Hennessy, fresh muddled blackberries, and lemon. Fruit forward and sophisticated, all for a whopping $19. They put ice in the cocktail. That takes up the space. So, okay, that's not including tax and the gratuity. I feel like he's the one where automatic gratuity. You could get a glass of water and you still have to pay gratuity. Moving down to the dinner menu, Southern Comfort. Classic Southern feast featuring crispy fried chicken, smoked turkey collard greens, sweet potato souffle, baked mac and cheese, and honey butter cornbread. All for 40 bonus. Huh? You said the Thanksgiving plate is gonna cost me $40? And Atlanta is well known for definitely being the place of scamming, robbery, and thievery. Like, you can't even park your own car. You have to pay $20 to $25, if not more, for valet parking services, right? I just find it very interesting, when running a business and trying to create an image of wealth and luxury, that the location, again, look at that. That is where this is located, and these are the prices that you're paying. It doesn't correlate. It really doesn't. I gotta say, the way that these women dress, it's very basic. Nothing too special. It's just like a white button up with a black, whether that's a black tie, a black corset. It has to be tight and put together. You know what I'm saying? Running a strict program. You have one flap, one button out of place, and he sends you home. You can't even adjust yourself in the bathroom. It's like boot camp. I don't know. He also has a VIP Sky Lounge experience, which is basically just elevated open space. I guess it has to be above because you're above the gas station. So if you smell gas and then you see a fight outside with somebody with a crackhead, or somebody in dispute with their boyfriend and somebody gets ran over, that's free entertainment. So I don't know, maybe he's on to something. I gotta say that this is working for him, the whole rage baiting, you degrading the girls. And he has this whole thing where, he does this rollout of him being a high value boss, of people taking his hand as he gets out the car, rolling up into the building, this whole AOA situation. It's really working for him. It seems like this is an exclusive club in high school, the clique, where everybody wants to get in, and then you realize everybody in there is a bunch of losers. There's always that one person who can't read, the other person that is smelling buttloads of Bath and Body perfume, specifically the one that they got on clearance in the back. V12, the whole club. I've never seen any popular people in it. I've just only seen these TikTok videos of it. So maybe it's really not that popular. Who knows? I heard around the Millbury Bush, apparently this club is part ownership or bought by Quavo. So maybe that's where he gets his most of his income and the rah-rah about. But I gotta give him props because it definitely is attracting something. It's definitely attracting value. $48 for ribeye though, crazy work. Soda is $5. Just, I don't know, man. Do I get a nice little, do I get to drink it off the butt of somebody? Does it add with the, no? Okay. The next thing I want to talk about is that I went to go see Odyssey. I actually saw it twice. Yeah, 6 hours. Long journey. I saw it in IMAX and then I saw it in 4XD. So I almost died, but we're still here. Woo! I gotta say with Odyssey, it was really lame of the internet and all y'all. Imagine not going to go see a movie because you want to be transphobic and racist. Girl, you said black people can't be gods? That Lupita Nyong'o, that face is not worth of going to war for? Huh. And then you being upset because you have somebody who's trans in the movie for literally only in the movie, all collective, probably for 10, 15 minutes. Wow. God. Y'all gotta go touch grass. Maybe you should go and be in the war. Huh? The second time that I watched it, I gained a new perspective and insight. The pacing of the film, it is a long film, but there's so much to tell, right? There's a lot of themes, a lot of motifs, a lot of symbols regarding a 10-year-long journey of getting back home on purpose because of your own hubris. But the main thing that I really walked away with, specifically after my second watch, is that you really see the guilty conscience, if I can say that, or at least the bearing consequences of colonization and genocide, and how that there was a sense of pride that Odysseus had, that he was a man of honor, he was a man that had a value in morals, and as soon as he overtook Troy and made his way back home, how it overturned him into being like Agamemnon, I want to say is how you pronounce his name. And might I say, Agamemnon, my boy had that thing on. The helmet, the outfit, aura, peak. And you would never know who it is once you see underneath, which I feel like they did a great job on purpose. But that's a suit that you want to wear. He had that thing on, I gotta say. The whole point of Zeus's law is really a big contradiction. It's part of it is saying that I am welcoming you into my home, that it serves as being a person that you honor other people who are either above you or beneath you because you don't know that they're a god, or the fact of you reaching out a hand to people who need help and need. But the way that Odysseus uses Zeus's law for his own selfish reasons, or own entitlement, shall I say, and how the consequences really push back, and might I say very quickly, is my most favorite part of the Odyssey. Seeing the struggles of Odysseus and really seeing the downfall of his pride and how he refused to accept his consequences, and the whole thing with him being with Calypso on the island, and how that was the beginning of the film. So you kind of get to see foreshadowing, prologue, then present time, and then going into the future, which I think is the best way to kind of tell the story, especially because it's been a 10-year journey versus actually starting from the beginning, because you can really get bored and lost into that. There's so much that happens. I want to say that the way that he did not use that much CGI, the fact that the Cyclops is actually a handcrafted project, beautifully well done. The soldiers that they encountered into the forest, those are real people. There is somebody out there who's like 6'8" and weighs 290 pounds or 300 and something pounds just existing. And Christopher Nolan found him and said, hey man, you want to be in a movie real quick and just throw people around like they're dolls? Crazy work, man. I gotta say, and you know, Zendaya, let me tell you something, the diva, the doll, she really wasn't in the film that much, but I did enjoy her, and I think she did a great job as being Athena, and Athena portraying herself as the blood on the hands of Odysseus. Beautiful job, well done. There's a lot of acting that you can do without saying a lot of words. In Zendaya, I feel like that is her greatest strength, specifically in her eyes, in the way that she can portray a character through facial expression, through just being in silence and body. Amazing job. And just showing the sheer raw beauty of, I mean, it looks like she didn't have any makeup on, but just popping in, popping out. I think Tom Holland also did a great job. A lot of people were very disappointed in his acting, and I feel like you guys are confused about his character. It literally is his job to be not a whiny child, but he is a son of privilege who has been shielded his whole entire life, and now he has to step into a position of responsibility because he doesn't know his dad, yet he has faith that his dad is coming home, his mother that he's trying to protect, and the fact that he wants to step in the role of being a king, but he knows nothing of responsibility and leadership. So it takes time. That's the whole point of character development. So I don't know. I got a chance to read another review regarding the Odyssey, and this one was a different perspective. It's written by Emily Wilson. I want to say that's her name. And it's definitely a good read. It's a review of the Odyssey, I want to say from an educational perspective and somebody who actually knows the text. She has been doing translating of the Odyssey for quite some time, and other like old historical texts. Mama knows her stuff for sure. The article of the review, I think it's called An Uncomplicated Man. And she also gives critique regarding Christopher Nolan's directing and I think the way that he goes about these characters. It's refreshing because it's not your standard typical movie review. But two things that I wanted to point out is the fact that she talks about that you have good main focus on the main lead, who is a male, but the female leads are underserved. She quotes it as having a man that's always going on a quest to have victory or self-redemption, and that the female leads serve as just like an object and an afterthought of being a love interest. She also pointed out the fact that he did do colorblind casting, right? But the fact that these characters of anybody who's a person of color, that they don't really serve a purpose, that they kind of just serve as the token black friend, and you're just a tag to your primary white counterparts. I can see what Emily is saying in the article, and especially just the way that the reception that it was, again, with Lupita Nyong'o serving as Helen of Troy, people commenting on Zendaya barely being in the film, or the fact that I don't know this gentleman's name, but he serves as a secondhand man to Odysseus. I think he did a great job really portraying the consequences and of how Odysseus made these decisions, especially with, blinding the Cyclops and then attacking the Cyclops again when they leave, and how that counterfolds into everything else happening. And he refuses to acknowledge what he's doing, refusing to acknowledge the hardships that they have. I can definitely see where she's coming from, of it just being underwhelming. She still says that it's a great film, and I think production wise it definitely is a great film. It is a strong film regarding the scoring of the music, the casting, and really production value. But the story itself, I think there's a lot more that you could have told if you're a real reader of the Odyssey. But again, it's 3 hours, so you got to pick and choose. But definitely give her article a read if you're really into the meat and bones of the Odyssey. I think she did a great review. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Please comment, like, and subscribe. I don't really have that much as an ending note. I saw this video on TikTok, and I guess if I've been traumatized, I gotta traumatize you too. Let me tell you something. I know that couples have their thing. Some of y'all like to rub y'all backs in public. Other times y'all like to slap each other on the butt. I find it really weird when you want to like joke on your partner and say degrading things, but you want to make it funny. This right here, right? And I get it. That's some people's scene. But, if I'm going to the gas station, if I got to use the bathroom or I just want a bag of chips, maybe some water, do we have to do this right now? Can we just like do this? I don't know, maybe like in a park? Where you see dogs, so it might be common, or I don't know. I feel like sometimes it's a time and place, right? And again, I'm not shaming a little bit, but this is just wild to see in the wild. And I get that people are proud of their relationship, but like, can we be proud of other aspects before we jump into this? Like, this is a super extreme, I don't know. Also, she looks a little bit uncomfortable. In the color, it just pops out, like it doesn't even match the outfit. Can we just have a little bit of decorum, maybe, keep it a little too much? I don't know. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.